Okay, I thought we'd do a little today. I thought we'd do a little bit of a follow-on from yesterday. I showed you how to configure Eclipse for Rust. We created and built a Hello World project. And what I didn't do yesterday is I didn't take a look at what does it actually create. So, this is a very simple project. It creates simply under source and main.rs, which means that's your application. And it also creates a cargo.html. So the cargo has the name of the project, the version, the author, and the edition. This is the edition of Rust. I think it's 2015, 2018. And of course, dependencies, which we don't have any on this. So let's see what else we can do through creating a project here. See if we can do something, if there are any, okay, so we say cargo project, because you know in Java they have different, they call them archetypes, different types of projects you can create. So you can initialize this with Git if you'd like. Use a binary application template. Let's see if there's anything else here. Link project name and folder name. Let's see. Well, I guess there isn't that much more you can do. Let's have a look at this. So what this is going to do is this is going to link it to Git. Git is your source control. GitHub is a very well-known, probably very popular configuration control, source control tool. They have GitHub, which is probably used more commonly, and that allows you to share your code and on what you're working on with people you're working it on. It also lets you, if you're working on a personal project, store it safely for later retrieval. So we have Git. Let's call this something else. Git project test. Let's call it that. So let's see what happens here. We hit finish, and it goes along, and it creates Git project test. So again, this is going to look pretty. This source is going to look pretty similar, just like we saw. And let's look at cargo. Again, pretty much the same. However, and let me bring this in here. I am going to. It doesn't seem to. All right. So, as you can see, this is our Git project test, and we have not just the cargo and the source that we had last time, but a .project and a .gitignore. Now, if you look in new Rust project, you see a .project, you don't see a .gitignore. Let's look in at .project. I think this may be a, no. I'm not sure if this is it. And so this is not changed, but this gitignore is another file. And I think in this case, what gitignore is that when you're working on a project, in Git. It says, this is what I do not want checked in. So in this case, we have target. You don't want to check in your compiled code. It's going to change all the time. There's no reason to check it in. You want, because if one of your you go back or another developer gets the code, they're going to build it. They're just going to build and run the code. So there is no reason for target to get checked in. Other things commonly put in Git ignore is there's often configuration files that you may not want, that are local to your machine, or you may not want to share because they may have things like passwords and so forth that you do not want in your GitHub. So those are the types of things that you would do a Git ignore on. And so that now that we've set it up for Git, let's see something. So yeah, Git status. So Git status tells you what you have to, what's changed since you've checked it in last, what you are not putting in Git, that's these untracked files. So if you were going to check this in, you can do git add, and you want to add, if you do, actually in this case you can do git add star, because there isn't a lot there. The only thing you're concerned about is target, and it should not. Well, I'm trying to remember if it will put in git ignore. So why don't we just do it this way? Cargo dot lock, cargo dot, what is that? TOML. So you do git add, and now we do git status again, and you can see it says new files. What you would do to commit that is you do git commit, which says put it in the repository, the source repository. Now git commit -m, which is your message, and this is a test. And there you go. You do git status again. Now, this is typically what you would not work in main. Typically, what you do in Git, if you haven't used it, is you would do something like git branch, or git checkout, which means I'm now checking out those files. Now this is not, some older version control systems, if you checked out a file, no one else can touch it. In this case, it's just saying, I'm checking out, I'm going to use it now, and git checkout, and -b means branch, version 1, let's say. So now, if we do git status again, as you can see, it says on branch version 1, because you generally you don't work in master. You have your branches for what you're working on. They, when they are good, are merged into it. Well, this is more a professional environment, but be merged into a development branch, and then eventually a test branch, and eventually a production branch. That is what is a release branch, the thing that's actually going to be released. So now that you have that, you can then, now this is local still, and I have not created a project in Git, so I'm not going to try to push it. But if you have that project in Git, what you would do is you would do git push, and that'll send it up. And then you have to be something like git push origin. Let's see, what did I call it? I called it version 1. Oh, I didn't. That's it. You have to set to where is it going? So, essentially, that's what you get when you have your source control there. And what it allows is it's obviously collaboration. What happened? The other thing it allows for is it keeps your version safe and separate. If you mess something up, you can go back and you can either grab the latest good branch that's been checked and is usually in development, or you can grab an earlier version of what you were working on, and thereby correct, not be lost, not sit there and have something that's not working and you have to go through everything and get it working again. So those are the two big things that it gives you. And like I said, it's different than some of the older source controls. Some of them, like I said, if you were working on a file, nobody else can work on it. With the newer things like Git, 2 people can work on it, and essentially they merge their changes. So for example, I did version 1 here. So let's say I want to do git branch. Let's like git checkout -b, and let's call this develop. Let's say this is a development branch. So this is develop. So I'm on development, but I want to go back to version 1. Git checkout version 1. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here to make sure I get the right one here. Yep. So we're going to do println hello world, println making a change. And I got 2. And that's one other thing that you should be aware of in Eclipse if you're not familiar with it. If something's not right, then it is going to underline it, let you know. So in this case, okay. Rust requires println explanation. There we go. And you see there's no more red. So now we can compile. We'll just actually run cargo-based Rust project. Save. There you go. Well, this is interesting. I'll have to figure out what a snake case name. Oh, it probably doesn't like. They call it camel case. So another little development thing to explain, right? commonly in Java, we use camel case, which means you kind of have lowercase for the first letter, and the beginning of each word has a capital. Snake case is this, Git project. So you have all lowercase with an underscore between the different words in the name. So that's more of a, I guess, a standard, coding standard, naming convention. Anyway, getting back to our Git. Okay, getting back to our Git. Let me show. So we do Git status again, and you can see we made a change. So again, git add source. I can just do source star actually. Git status and git commit -m, made a change, and then so now we have our change, it's made, and what we're going to do, since we now have our development branch, oh, it's probably devel. Well, actually, you can see what branches you have, and that shows we have version 1, that's the one we're on, master and develop. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we want develop to have our change. So we do git merge version 1. And there you go. Wait a second. Oh yeah, I switched to the develop branch, and then I said merge in version 1, and it's Git is pretty smart, and it'll know how to make the change. So we got git status, and you can see we're on develop, and type name.rs, and you can see it has our change right in there. So I guess this looking at the code we created through Eclipse ended up being a little lesson on Git. So hopefully that's been useful. This is just pretty basic Git stuff that that one does, and but if you've not done it, if you've not used Git before, if you are developing code, I strongly recommend you get a GitHub account. It's free. Let me show you. So this is, let me move it over so you can see it. There we go. GitHub.com, and where am I? So all my little projects, and this is what it looks like. So, and basically you can pull it out, you can put it back in. This happened, I believe this may be, and there's a whole lot of stuff you would do. This is C++ that you would do in a development environment. For example, you can let's see, you can do pull requests. So you're working with someone and you finish working on your piece, and you want your coworker, your partner, to look at your code and see what, put a second set of eyes on it. They call them pull requests. So you can create a pull request. They can come in and they can look, and they have to, if you tell them to approve it, or tell them to have a look at, they have to approve it, or they can come back to you with questions. And that's a way of getting a second pair of eyes on code. And there's a lot you can do. But anyway, hopefully this has been helpful to those of you who are new to coding and new to source control. And if this has been helpful, please give it a like. And if you want to see more, then ring the bell and subscribe. So thank you again, and I will see you next time.